It's Throwback Week here at footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 8 preview between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Redskins. Now let's look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with Washington.
Now look at the Washington Redskins in this ball game and look at a team right now that's battling a lot of injuries. But let's look at secondary coach Raheem Morris. How can he get these guys in better position to make plays? That's something that has to be fixed this week versus Pittsburgh. And defensive coordinator Jim Haslett has to get creative with this game plan in order to stop the Steelers offense. But when you look up front, I think that's where the game has to be won. Jarvis Jenkins, a young guy, year 2, is going to be up front starting at the 5 technique. Interested to see how he progresses throughout the season. But let's go inside the lab and take a look at that Redskins offense and what they can do this week versus Pittsburgh.
The Washington Redskins have the unique advantage of going against a Pittsburgh Steelers defense that also runs a 3-4. And why widening out the 3-4 defense gives you an advantage if you're an offense? One, you could identify where the pressure is coming from, and 2, it weakens the coverage and blitz packages that they have. So let's say right here you're in your base pistol set. Key part is 2 tight ends. You want to keep their personnel in. You don't want to have them bring in a nickel back or a corner. Redskins have 2 tight ends they can use. They're going to bring back Chris Cooley. They have Paulson. They have Niles Paul. So they can get creative with 2 tight ends. So you see right here how they would have to match up. They would walk out a backer over this tight end. So let's say you want to walk out this tight end here. Keep him still on the line of scrimmage. Now you walk out that backer. What you've essentially done is created zones right here, individual matchups that you can take advantage of, and you also isolate this area over the back. So if you really want to get creative and motion this guy out, now you kind of widen this guy out, everybody walks down, and you could take advantage of the individual matchups. It also puts pressure on your offensive tackles and guards to protect up front. But if you widen out that 3-4 defense with your personnel, you can have some advantages, and that's what it's all about. Finding the matchups that you like and exploiting them. You can out-personnel a defense if you widen it out and trust your personnel versus theirs. I think the Washington Redskins have that ability to do so this week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now let's move over to the Pittsburgh Steelers in this matchup, and I think the linebacking core will have to be vital this week versus the Washington Redskins. Outside linebackers playing contain, inside linebackers stopping the run and stonewalling things at the line of scrimmage. In order for these guys to have success, it has to come with stopping the run. If they can do that with Washington, they'll put themselves in a situation where they can get after the quarterback and put pressure on the passing game, but it all starts with stopping a run. But let's go inside the lab and see how that Steelers offense does a great job in attacking the flow of a defense.
One thing that I like about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is that it's sequenced when they're running the football in their play-action passing game. And here's how they could utilize that versus the Washington Redskins this week and be effective. We're going to call this 24 ISO. Then we're going to show you the 24 ISO boot and how the Steelers block it and why it's so effective. So here you have your bunch set, your ace bunch set. You have a tight end. You could also have a receiver here, a big wide receiver. Let's say this is Jericho Cotter, a guy that you feel comfortable with going inside and blocking a linebacker. So let's see how we have it blocked up. We're going to have backside tackle. He's blocking this guy. Backside guard is going up to the Mike backer. Center and play side guard are comboing, kicking out this nose tackle, vital to the running game. You're going to have play side tackle blocking his 5 technique. Linebacker on tight end blocking there. You're going to give a short, quick motion to the wide receiver, and he's going to lead up into the hole as the running back shoots through there. And you're going to have receiver going over, other receiver going up to the free safety. Ben Roethlisberger is going to open out, show extended handoff, and boot around to carry out the fake. Why? That's important. It's going to give flow. It's going to have this guy hesitate. It's going to have this guy run himself into a block right there. So that's how you effectively run the 24 ISO out this ace bunch set that the Pittsburgh Steelers love so well. And here's the bootleg off of it. So we're going to call this fake 24 ISO boot. And you're going to have it set up like this. Same situations. You're going to have the same type of defense, that 3-4 defensive set. And now what you're going to have the running back showing here. Roethlisberger extended handoff, faking, coming around, bootlegging. And what are his options? After you have that short motion, now you have the same short motion. Instead of him going block the backer, he's shooting up running across the face of the free safety, and that's going to be one read. Another read, you're going to have this tight end faking like he's going to block it. He's running an over route just above the linebackers, giving Ben Roethlisberger that late breaking read that he can dump the football off to. Slot receiver has the quick out. Outside receiver has the 15-yard out, and the running back, he's going up to block the backer. But if he sees everybody's flowing this way toward where the action is, he's going to rub off this backer and go up the field, giving Ben Roethlisberger a last-ditch effort to try to hit this deep and essentially taking the strong safety out of the play. So you see how the Steelers can run the bootleg off their ISO out that ace back bunch set in order to have some effectiveness versus the very aggressive Washington Redskins.
I think third down defense is vital for the Washington Redskins. They have to get off the field in order to get the ball back for their ball control offense, RG3 in that running game. And speaking of the running game, I think that's going to be the X factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have to be able to run the football consistently. They got to call a well-balanced game this week versus Washington. Let's look at the personnel breakdown in this matchup, and something has to give with both teams' offensive line. They do some things great, they do some things not so great. Both do a great job in running the football. Unfortunately, both don't do a great job in pass protection. I like the Steelers in this ball game. Right now, I think Washington is too beat up defensively to compete with the Steelers' passing attack. That's both intermediate and also deep. And on the defensive side of the football, I think the linebacking core will do a great job of containing RG3. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Redskins fan forums and Steeler fan forums for always showing football game plan support.